at this point, the underwater warfare training has been completed. It has been about 4 days since the last session we played. Today is mission briefing day. Everybody wakes up to an email from Frank Haraga saying that mission briefing will begin at noon. But until then, it has been 4 days since our last session. I want to go around, just check in with everybody, what they've done for the past 4 days. So whoever's ready to go first, tell me what you did for the past 4 days, and how do you wake up on mission day?
Zed would have the first couple of days probably spent a lot of time with Gavin, the other animal agent person, and kind of got like tips and pointers because they said that they were mostly like drone operations, but they also seem to kind of have a handle on how to do this sort of thing as well. So they would have probably spent a decent amount of time trying to get like, how does things really work, not like how the teacher tells you it's supposed to work. And probably at some point would want to talk to Lux, but we can save that. We can table that for a second to see what everybody else does.
There's going to be a good moment during session for you to all do that. So
hell yeah,
I will.
Awesome.
You'll know.
Okay, good. And you said, how do they wake up the day of?
Yeah.
Nervous as hell. Don't wanna do water or anything like that. So woke up early. Probably doesn't do like a whole lot of physical exercise, but probably went for like a brief jog. Got some coffee and was just like sitting, like the first one there, just like sitting nervously, like fidgeting and everything like that.
Just hanging outside of the briefing room. Nobody's there yet.
Correct.
Frank Haraga probably walks past you with a coffee in his hand at one point in the very beginning of the day, as seeing you there, and just like, a bit early, aren't you?
I'm just trying to calm the nerves a little bit.
You're gonna be fine. Don't worry. This is a very easy op. It's gonna be a breeze for you. Don't worry. And he gives you a smile and a wink, and he's just like, I'll see you. And he checks his watch. 4 hours. So hang in there. If you need anything to calm your nerves or anything like that, I'm sure one of the med techs can get something for you if you need something.
I think I'll keep that in mind, but I appreciate it.
No problem. You see his wristwatch kind of go off as if he's got a phone call, and he's like, I got to take this. I'll see you in 4 hours. And he just kind of like sips his coffee and looks at his watch and kind of walks a little urgently down the hall.
All right.
That'll make you not nervous. That'll be fine.
I'll say Jason has spent most of these days working because he was given the framework for some security, some firewall and ICE protocols. So he's probably been working on that, getting that up to code the way he likes it. And he's probably not really slept. He's probably in clothes he's been wearing for the 4 days, just been working purely on that. And he's probably, bags under his eyes and probably very frantic, like somebody who's only been fueled on caffeine for several days.
You're gonna do fine on this mission for sure. So as far as your ice goes, I want to say they have to be kind of specific. I want to say you were able to make 3 ice in the past 4 days, because they take a lot of code, a lot of like back end stuff to do. So
that's why he hasn't slept.
Yeah. So what would you specifically like these to do? And if you need like a suggestion, it could be something along the lines of, this specific ice will keep out an invading netrunner, or this specific ice will stop a submarine in its tracks, kind of thing. You don't have to come up with them on the spot right now, but in the next, like, before mission briefing, maybe come up with like 3 that do a specific thing, and that's what you've managed to come up with.
Alright.
And if you need more suggestions, if you're stumped, I got a couple more. But yeah, just let me try come up with a couple, and then we'll go over that. But yeah, that's I like to, for whatever reason in my head when you describe that moment, I imagine Jason like hanging upside down from a bunk typing stuff. like you're kind of some kind of bat or something.
He's a vampire.
Yeah.
Little
Just
known
been
fact.
too much Vampire the Masquerade lately. Okay, so we got Jason and Zed. Who else wants to go?
I can go.
Okay.
Kip is face down in his pillow on his bed, listening to Sarah McLachlan, waiting for Kels to come in and cheer him up, because that's the only way he knows how to get out of bed now. I don't want to wait for our lives. He's just kind of.
I do want to say in the past 4 days you have gotten better at your job, but
No.
still not confident in it.
Still hard
Yeah.
to get out of bed.
Yeah, it's still hard to wake up in the morning after all of that stuff. And it's just so stressful.
It's just too much for me. This is worse than the war. The training is worse than the war.
Kels, do you respond to that at all?
Yeah, Kells wakes up early, like before Kip, to like take his time out on his, on the vehicles by himself to relax. And then it comes back in when Kip is like crying and puts a hand on his shoulder and gives him his emotional support water wingies, and then takes him to the thing to practice.
I'm not ready for the big test, Kels.
No, you got your water wingies. You'll be okay.
I'm not ready. I'm too scared. I don't know everything. I don't know.
Just
how I'm
look,
gonna-
and they got little duckies on them.
They remind me of Rick too much. I
That's
just
why
don't
I
want to
got
let him
him.
down. Too much pressure.
Today's gonna be the day. You're gonna do it. Just take him by the hand and just start
Just hold
walking
me.
towards the
Just
thing.
hold me.
Smash cut back to Smiles. Veronica Smiles has been taking care of Rick this entire time, and she just like, it's just like the morning of the 5th day or whatever that she's been taking care of Rick, and she has like these bags under her eyes, and she's just staring at Rick, and Rick is just being a duck and just kind of looking around, and Veronica Smiles is like, what are you? You're not. And then we smash cut back to us. So Kels, how have the past 4 days been?
Pretty good. I think Kells is like taken a day to like try every vehicle out, just take him out on the water and get a feel for him, and is taking time by himself and then taking a special amount of time to work with Kip on each vehicle.
Thanks so much, Kip. Or Kels, whatever your name is. My name's Kip. See, I'm so flustered. I don't think we're gonna do good on this test, Kels.
This test is a fucking mission.
This test is gonna be fine.
Oh, yeah, don't drop the facade. What if
Amazing.
the teacher just doesn't like my performance?
No, it's there's always time for more tests. There's like they have a no Kip left behind act.
You said if I got a D or lower, I couldn't have treats after this.
Yeah, but I always
That
get you those
scares me.
gummies anyhow.
It's good.
I like to imagine that Kip is so distraught about all this because you have had no access to Dorf in the past week. So this
down.
is like a symptom of that. Just like
Either that or the gummies that Kels is giving him is dwarf.
In small amounts. I'm
It's
just
small
microdoses. So he's
Or like or whatever gummies that edibles.
With Kels and Kip both being underwater sea vehicle techs, Micah, how have the past 4 days for you been?
Micah is incredibly nervous. This all just smells like a trap to him. But having little other option, he's just kind of gone into overdrive. He found whatever specific mech he would be piloting and is spending every spare moment he can learning it, because he's planning for everything to go horribly wrong. Beyond that, probably getting a lot more into like exercise and boxing that he used to do long ago. And now that he doesn't have his tools or any of his other hobbies available, that's what he's defaulting to.
Yeah, you also haven't been able to talk to your wife in a few days because they blocked text communications out of here.
Oh,
and
yeah.
stuff.
So, yeah, lonely, angry, very suspicious, and probably been drinking a lot. I think the day of he wakes up or is probably still awake, to be honest. He probably just kind of faded in and out of consciousness at the bar, and then eventually dragged himself to bed like an hour before he woke up for it anyway.
Oh, jeez. And Lux, that brings us to you. How have the past 4 days been?
I mean, fine. She's like fine. It does nothing. None of this is phasing her, and she's fully expecting like an all-out war. So she's probably just been keeping up with her. Is there like a gym in this place?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so she probably would have been doing that. And she probably would have found time to. I mean, what was her name? Erin?
Madison?
Anna? Madison.
That's okay. She does the exact same thing to Lux.
Okay, awesome. At some point, maybe we hook up again, or not. Lux isn't, sex is weird for her. She doesn't really care. Cool if it happens, whatever if it doesn't. And
It's pretty much the same boat Madison's in as well.
phenomenal. I think at some point she would have probably wanted to hang out with Zed. Like maybe we get dinner or drinks or, whatever or not. Or, Lux is like, sure, yeah, or not, whatever. That's great.
Does that happen at any point in the last 4 days between you two?
Probably,
Or does it just get swept aside?
I mean, I saw what you did there. Ocean swept,
I didn't.
Oceans sweep all the time. They're very notorious cleaners.
Oceans are extremely
clean
clean.
up and they'll sweep off the beach.
Except not in Cyberpunk. They're extremely toxic.
Yeah.
You hate to say it.
Probably. I think if Lux was all like, hey, do you want to go get a bite to eat or whatever, Zed would go with her. So then yes. Yeah. So then yes.
So you've talked in the past 4 days, and
We've talked. Yeah. I don't.
Did we
Zed-
do anything else?
Probably not.
Oh.
That's cool. Yeah.
I think we go jet skiing recreationally.
Recreation.
Any kind of fun.
any kind of
Yeah,
fun. Jet skis are super fucking fun, guys.
No, I think it's a little bit. I think it's honestly a little bit weird. At least, well, for both parties involved, because Zed doesn't really talk about anything. Just kind of like the weird like filler conversation, but nothing ever like meaningful or deep like comes out of it. Even though they definitely, seem to enjoy spending the time with you, it feels a little weird.
Oh no, it's almost like you talk about all the nerdy like engineering stuff you've learned over the past 4 days, but all you talk about is like shooting shit for the past 4 days. And it's like these two worlds don't really have interest in each other kind of situation. Oh no. And with that, how does Lux wake up on this final day?
As she always does, and probably works out and then goes wherever we're supposed to go. Nothing exciting.
Fair. Alrighty, and with that, I want to say all of you meet up at noon at the mission briefing room. It's kind of like a blue tinted room. There's kind of a holographic map in the center of it. Standing in the room is Frank Haraga, as well as Johnny Neptune, who you've all come to know and love. He likes Zed a lot, at least. Because Zed has an animal agent and he has an animal agent, so they have like
Yay.
But Zed,
I have an animal agent.
I don't think Zed really likes Johnny Neptune because he's very he's like
he
the
tried to
sandpaper
murder
of the
us.
ocean. That too.
Did
You're in this room. It's got kind of benches. There's a very sterile feeling to the room. Frank Haraga motions for all of you to sit down on the benches that overlook this map in the center of the room. He says, Beacon crew will be in charge of guarding and securing Nautilus Base, which is currently storage for some equipment like submarines and hard shell submersible suits, among other non-weaponry related equipment. The base is under no currently detected threat outside of the usual equal terrorism group, the Rainbow's Edge. Consider this essentially a beginner mission for us to evaluate your skills in the field. Due to recent OTEC actions, we need more veteran contractors elsewhere, which is why you are all guarding Nautilus Base. Beacon crew will be the only operatives on site, no other staff to worry about, and you're there to protect the property of OTEC and nothing more. You'll be stationed at Nautilus Base for about 2 days. Do you have any questions? And just so you can see, I will send you the map, and here is also a description of all the floors.
Kip raises his hand.
Yes.
Is this going to be on the test?
He looks over at Kels with a panic. Yes. And he kind of Johnny. He looks over at Johnny Neptune, and Johnny Neptune's just sitting there like, just he doesn't really have faith in your ability to be a great team in this.
He has assessed me correctly.
Yeah, so he's just sitting there like pretty mad at all of you. If you have no questions, we have a gyrocopter that will take you to Nautilus Base when you are prepared and ready.
Question: do we have access to the vehicles and equipment on site to use? And
Yes, any vehicles and equipment on site are yours to use if you need them. I believe there is a OTEC Shark on site. There is a hard shell suit and other defenses, but I don't believe they are currently activated. So when you get there, your first duty will probably be to activate all the defenses.
what about? I was going to say, what about like a digital network? Anything JSON might need?
Oh, absolutely. There's an AI on site that can guide you through it. Otherwise, you can also use any of the terminals, of course, as netrunners want to do any defense mechanisms you need to prepare for.
Any limitations? Anything off limits? Any secrets? we're not
Whatever
supposed to know
keeps
about?
the property safe and not damaged is your utmost priority. We don't necessarily, we're Militech, we're not OTEC. Just don't damage our our contractors' property, and I think you'll be fine.
Cool.
Yes.
Are we gonna have access to all of the floors?
Yes. And speaking of which, as a semi-form of payment for this will probably be a non-eventful job, I'm hoping. The Nautilus Base, I'm sure you've heard, used to be a party base or a place where corporations would meet together to sometimes have meetings and parties, and celebrities would party there. We believe that the fridge is fully stocked for such an occasion. If you so desire, and things are looking slow, you may eat or feast on anything that you see in the kitchen.
So that means there's a functional coffee machine.
I believe so, yes.
That is important.
Always.
Can we stay in the suites?
Yes. That's where I imagine you would have to stay.
Well, there's apparently quarters too. Crew quarters. I don't want that.
He kind of looks around the room and he's just like, that OTEC won't mind as long as you keep everything safe. I'm sure they'll let you all sleeping in a executive room slide perfectly fine.
I'd like to roll insight.
He means that. He works for Militech, so he's not an OTEC loyalist or anything like that. So he's just like, just don't damage anything, you'll be fine. That's basically his attitude about the whole thing.
This is Frank, right?
Yeah, this is Frank
Okay.
Hiraga.
And it was Frank who was earlier when I was there. It was like a little bit like left really quick on the phone.
Yeah,
and things
he
like that.
got a phone call about something and left pretty quick.
Okay. Mr. Hiraga, is there anything else that might be of concern to you? Not necessarily these two, the two potential problems we might face, but anything perhaps that you personally might be worried about?
Not pertaining to this mission. I'm of course worried about the big operation that's going on that called all of our other contractors to the front. But as far as your mission goes, I can sleep easy about it.
Right. My personal concern is if all of the big names are away, it is the most easiest to come in and swoop in, take the smaller fish out. If you understand what I'm saying.
In theory, as long as you know about it. But as far as our competitors know, everything should be running completely fine, and they shouldn't know that. As long as there hasn't been a leak of information or anything, they shouldn't know that anything is different.
You seem awfully sure about that.
I'm very confident in the security of OTEC.
Right. I don't have any further questions. Anybody else?
All right. If you'd follow me, we'll take you to your gyrocopter that will take you to Nautilus Base. And with that, he leads you to a helicopter pad. You can see multiple helicopters or gyrocopters taking off from this platform as all the teams are being rushed to their defense, like all the places that they're going to be defend. You see like Nora and DV and Scott getting into a helicopter, and then Zed, you see Gavin kind of give you a salute and a thumbs up as like a gyrocopter with like a tank underneath it, like a water tank underneath it is being lifted up, and you can see like the silhouette of a shark inside of it. Yeah, you have your little carrying case for Alf, by the way. I'm trying to think of what Lux, you would have your new scuba suit, which and your gun, which is your harpoon machine gun thing. Kels, Micah, and Kip would have to see what's on site. They aren't porting anything with them to the site or anything. Jason, you're you know you're not runner. You just work with what you got. Yeah, you have your ice, I guess, is all that's really coming with you. That's new. And with that, the gyrocopter lifts off. It takes you, it takes like a good 3 hours to get to Nautilus Base. When you arrive, it's about afternoon. The sun's starting to set, and it kind of looks a little beautiful as you see this ocean platform. If you look at the map, you can kind of tell the layout of it. There's like a big tower, and then there's kind of like a platform, and then there's like a warehouse that stores submarines and stuff like that. But the platform is this really nice looking platform that has this great view of Night City in the distance. You can see just the towers are starting to light up in Night City as night starts to come. The sun setting and everything like that, and they drop you off. The helicopter pilot just kind of gives you a salute, and they're gone. And you're just as soon as they're gone, you can hear the gyrocopter's engines fade into the distance as you're just sitting in this gigantic ocean platform, toxic water lapping at the base of the thing. You can hear some vague sounds of the city in the distance, but otherwise you're alone on this platform now.
First thing Mike is going to do is pull out his phone and see if he has service again.
Yes, all of you have service because, again, this is a party platform, so they made sure that the service would get here. Micah, you have just a fuck ton of texts from your wife.
Fantastic.
Being like, how's it going? Why aren't you answering? Where are you? Is everything going okay? I'm worried. And stuff like that.
So I'll turn to the team and say, I'm going to go check out the hard shell, and then I'll just walk off, phone in hand.
Yeah. Kels, same thing. You have a bunch of text messages from random people. One of them is from somebody you know pretty well that says, hey, you up? And it just every night, hey, you up? You up? You up?
It's from Rick.
And then, but you also have a couple from your clan that mentioned something has happened. That there's clan business going down and they would like to see you again. But you haven't necessarily kept great contact with them over the years, so this must be big if they're going to be contacting you about it. And that happened 3 days ago, so it's been a couple days since you've heard from them. I'm trying to think of anybody else. Zed, you probably have a couple from Birdie, who's probably just getting back to you about stuff you asked about 6 sessions ago. Yeah. Turns out Suki was the one behind all the map related attacks. Thanks,
Great.
Birdie.
Thanks, Birdie.
And yeah, so you're alone on this platform, but yeah, Micah, you walked off to try and call your wife.
Said Birdie was Birdie the one that's also in charge of taking care of Rick?
No, that's Victoria Smiles.
Oh,
Victoria
yeah.
Smiles probably sent you a bunch of texts that are just like pictures of like
I don't have
selfies. Yeah, you don't have a phone, so they don't know
She
where
sent
they're
them
going.
to a number.
Yeah,
The random Rick pics.
Rick unsolicited
Unsolicited
Rick
Rick
pics.
pics.
I hate getting unsolicited Rick pics.